Howdy chaps and chapettes. Thought I'd share one of my one pot wonders with you today. Mongolian beef stew. Definitely one for you carnivores. So we'll have a look through the ingredients very briefly, obviously. Some broccoli to serve with, spring onions, carrot, ginger, garlic and some chilies. And we've got about sort of quarter of a cup worth of corn flour, half a cup's worth of soy sauce, some sesame oil, about a third of a cup of soft brown sugar, 400 grams of slow cooked beef and a cup of water. Best served with some rice as well. So I'll just kind of briefly talk you through the steps. So we'll start off by peeling the spring onions. Take the white bit, just remove those. Those can be our nice garnish later. Get rid of these. And what I do is I just diagonally slice these quite nice large chunks. Take those to one side, make sure nothing escapes. Top and tail your carrot, get rid of that. Just washed it, lots of goodness in the skin, so get that used. Let's get it chopped up, and what we're looking for is sort of quite a fine cut. So steadily sort of chop away. Hope everyone's having a good day out there. Monday morning, or whatever day you're watching this back on. So get the karotki all chopped up. It's one of my absolute favourite recipes. I came across this, I reckon about 5 years ago, 6 years ago or something like that. Everyone I've served it to thinks it's bloody gorgeous. So I'm cooking this tonight for my mate. So when he gets back from work, he hasn't got any faff or anything like that to do. So if you criticise my chopping skills, then you've probably not got a life, and you've probably got like a small wedgie or something like that. So go and get a grip. I've not lost any fingers yet, so I'm not that bad. So just kind of slice these down. All good in the hood. Oops. First time I've made a cooking video. Cooking's long been one of my passions. Something I got from my old man as a kid. I'm hugely grateful for some of the skills that he put into me. Because, well, due to my burgeoning early 40s waistline, I'm not going to starve in a hurry. So I'll just take those, put those to one side. Over they go. Top and tail the garlic. Whack. Skin comes off easier. Voila. Just give it a whack down. Get those skins off. Let's chuck to one side. There we go. Okay. Just makes it easier to actually just remove the outer skin, I find, when you do that. So finally dice the garlic down. Doesn't have to be teeny tiny nuggets, but I'd slice it thin, because most people don't like big whacking chunks of garlic in the mush when they're scoffing the food. I always find if you use the tip of the knife just to pivot on, it seems to do the job more than effectively. And again, I've not lost any fingers yet, so whatever works for you though. Okay, so the chilli. This usually isn't recommended as like an ingredient in there with it, the chilli, but some of us like it hot, eh? that would be me, for sure. So slice that down. Can't beat a bit of heat. So I've got the slow cooker on low. Usually you could do this probably in about sort of 2-3 hours on high, but I prefer them low and slow. So yeah, I just got a nice little squirt of chili juice in the eye. Always good for business. So you might wonder why I've got a spoon there, but I shall come to that in a second. So get that all up. So instead of wasting shed loads of ginger, what I will do is I'll just chop off that end bit and that end bit there. Discard. Spoon. Easiest way of not wasting ginger and removing skin very effectively. Minimum waste, maximum taste. I didn't plan that, honestly. Full of cheesy shite one-liners. So yeah, you know, if you've got a slow cooker, this is a dazzling recipe that will leave all your friends wowed and amazed at your gastronomic delight. So get rid of that. Try not to knock everything over. Get the ginger sliced into thin strips, and then we'll thin that out again. Quite fibrous, so just do it in little bits. Doesn't have to be perfect, but again, I wouldn't want big massive chunks of ginger myself. Although actually, having said that, I really love ginger. It's bloody good for you as well, so whatever, up to you, you know. I don't tell you how to live your life, you don't tell me how to live mine. Everybody's happy. So chop that down in strips. There we are. So that's the majority of our ingredients that are going in the pot. So just move this out of the way so we can see the next step. That would be the beef. So got the chopping board. And what I would generally tend to do with this is just try and slice it against the grain and just slice it into nice little thin strips. Some recipes I've seen, they recommend sort of freezing your beef first so it's easier to chop. The one thing that I find with that is that you quite often you get like a lot of the red sort of connective fluid tissue that sort of seeps out, and I do think once you've defrosted it, I think moisture wise you're kind of struggling really to, you know, sort of get that sort of moistness. So this is low and slow though, so you know it's not going to absolutely crozzle the beef. So I say I try to do it against the flank, I'm not even bloody looking, it's just getting sliced thin either way, so it's all going to disappear down your cake hold, so don't worry about being fancy. So slice up this entire packet. I should probably have sharpened this knife beforehand, but never mind. If you're looking for perfection, go and watch bloody Test and Blumenthal or one of those other Burks that overcomplicate things. I'm an expert at overcomplicating things, so when it comes to certain things, I do try and keep them simple. And this, if you've got a knife, a slow cooker, and the ingredients, does not come much more simple. And if you're into sort of Oriental or Asian cuisine and you like your meat, I'm pretty certain you'll enjoy this one. Not that you'll be able to taste mine, because wherever you live, I don't do delivery, and me and my pal are scoffing the lot, so you'll have to make your own. You get the idea though. So nice and thin, about halfway through the packet, boring time consuming bit, so feel free to fast forward if you don't like watching somebody handle the meat. So, keep on keeping up. And this was one that I just kind of came across when I was looking for like one pot wonders a few years back, when things were super stupid busy, and you know, anytime you could sort of jump the gun, you know, if you've got kids, etc., this is a great one, because you know, a little bit of prep time and you get a banging meal out of it, which can just sit and bubble away in the pot. And you know, I don't know what people would regard in terms of like safety advice, but we live in such a health and safety culture, you know. People get triggered over bloody all sorts, but you know, there were a lot of sort of slow cooker recipes that my mum used to use when I was a kid, that, you know, she'd go out for the day and, well, the house didn't burn down, so we're all still here. So you'd be safe, you know, just to get this diddling away and, you know, just go about your thing. So, nearly done. You know, you could use like really thinly sliced sort of sirloin steak or whatever if you wanted to go really sort of top end with this, but you know, given how the majority of us haven't got sort of 2 pennies to rub together nowadays, I think if you can cook on a budget, which I most certainly can, then you're going to save yourself quite a bit of money with, you know, good wholesome sort of tasty recipes like this. So don't worry, you know, if the meat's got a bit of fat on it, you know, if you want to remove it, I don't, because it just all renders down. So that fat will sort of help the cooking process. So that's the beef done. Discard of that tray. I'll use that just to put all my rubbishy bits in. And onto corn flour. So this is going to help thicken your sauce, and it's actually going to help protect the meat whilst you're cooking it. So get your bits in like that. I know this is a bit that probably a lot of people might not like doing, but whatever, I'm doing it. So nearly done. Try and get a nice even cover in. Leave it at that. I'll just wash my hands. So on to the next bit. Lid off. Beef in. That's one side. Sesame oil. In we go. That'll give it a really nice, rich, nutty sort of taste. So if you do have some, just takes it to that extra sort of next banging level. Brown sugar. I'll leave a link for the recipe below that I use. In with the soy sauce. Use low sodium, so it doesn't taste over salty and it's a teeny bit healthier. Not that I'm always asked about that, which I suppose I should be. In with the agua. Then in with all the other ingredients. Simples. So just give it a little bit of a stir around just to sort of incorporate everything. And you can already really sort of get a nice sort of smell of the sesame oil in there, so love the smell of it, and it just really lifts stuff. Normally with most recipes you probably drizzle that in at the end, but balls to it, I'm showing it you now. So a little bit of white pepper, because I'm a sod for it, and I like that extra heat, regardless of whether anyone else does. Another stir. And I'll just give you a quick aerial view. All high tech this vid, so that's kind of what you're looking at, and obviously over time it'll, you know, become really sort of tasty and make your house smell gorgeous. The recipe that I've looked at generally recommends like half a cup of water, but I've found over time that I prefer a little bit more sauce, so I've added a cup. So lid on, fit and forget. Push that to one side. So what we'll come to next is the rice. You might have a rice cooker, you posh bugger, I don't. So roughly one handful per person. So I'm going to do this for 4 people. So I can have a couple of portions. I can serve my mate some for tea. And also he can maybe take a portion with him to work and show off to all his mates what a wonderful cook his pal is. So I'm going to add an extra cup just because I likes me carbs. So there's that done. Discard that. So just fill that with water. I would just leave it to sit for a while, let some of the starch come off, and then start rinsing it using a sieve. And last but not least, I'll just show you the garnish that I'll prepare. Let's come to a different knife. So I will just literally, just really finely slice these, and then when it comes to serving time, you can just plop them on top, or if you want, just put them in the slow cooker a few minutes before it's ready. So it's nice and thinly, finely sliced. And I would recommend, like, nice to have like a little bit of steamed broccoli with it. So I'll just start cutting away. And I enjoy sort of cooking for people, because with living by yourself, which many of us do now, you've got to have some skills, otherwise it's quite easy to end up with a lot of wastage. So I'm going to slice this finely, etc., but you get the picture. So there we go. Ta-da! And I'll show you a picture of the finished article in a bit. Okay? So, not the end finished product. Decided that's probably about 5 hours away and I won't be able to pause and unpause this video by then. So, already smelling fine. So, you all know what broccoli looks like, and you know what rice looks like, and if you don't, then where have you been? So, yeah, all told, what do I reckon? Probably no more than 6 of your English shekels, you know, for a big kick-ass style feed. So yeah, one pot wonders. Well, 2, 3. But you get what I mean. All right, enjoy.